least. And more tradables up there. We need I. Equip the long las. Then I will get the carapace chest plate. And then dodge penalties 0.75. Yeah, I get the long las. Holy shit. Each heroic act used in battle increases the wearer's dodge by plus 20% until the end of combat, max of 60%. Plus 3 to tech use, plus 5 to persuasion. I guess we can put it on me. You know, it looks alright. It's not the worst. We'll give Adira the gloves for plus 5 to her persuasion. Which, you know, it's not going to mean much, but whatever. We'll open this door. Goods. Info. Research notes of Navis Laboratorum Custodian for Fortunata or Celio, Part 13. Keeper Theobald graciously agreed to provide samples of his skin growths so we could study the influence of the rebellious immaterium on the flesh of the Navis Nobilite. Just as we thought, navigators are positively resistant to the restless currents of the warp. The God Emperor truly does shield some people against corruption and misery. But let us get back to the study of mortal flesh. Another servant will be carried in shortly. I must ready the organ extraction equipment. Adamantine dust and Blackwater. This was the worst idea that could have entered my mind. God Emperor be praised. I am lucky to still have my head on my shoulders. After this reckless experiment, nevertheless, we did make an important discovery. The adamantine seems to protect the frail flesh from the lowborn to a degree. Having said that, not even the macerator can handle its temper, so we should probably introduce a more complex compound into the formula. All of the data related to the experiment were recorded to data crypt K040H. I will get back to them later once I am done with experiment H410K. Have I mentioned that the chunk of meteorite found by Keeper Felix subjects is completely useless, although its shining granules could be used to make new paints for the child? Yes, I think I'm going to do exactly that. Interesting. Okay. And it doesn't look like I'm missing anything else. There were people in here. Hello. Servant. Ah! The fact that the person is still alive is evidenced only by barely audible groans. It hurts so much. The pain in my chest. Oh. Ah! It hurts so much. The pain in my chest. Uv has had his tongue cut off, just like the rest of the lesser servants of House Orcelia. Interesting. It hurts so much, the pain in my chest. I don't understand. For some reason, the archenemy's twisted influence has found its way into the station. Oh, yeah. It does make sense. Ah. No, not the cogitator. The cogitator's vidscreen is covered in cracks and stained with dried blood. The button switches and levers were ripped out of the control panel with exceptional cruelty, scattered around the sacred mechanism that now sparks and hisses in agony, still refusing to perish. Awaken the cogitator. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Hello? You turn a few of the remaining dials and pull the activation lever. The cracked vid screen of the sacred engine flickers, the cogitator's inside emits creaks and groans, and the lumens oscillate at random. It takes a while, but eventually the machine spirits do grant you access to the cogitator system. Request data on station's navigators. After a brief pause, the data appears on the vid screen. Bellic Orselio. Location, main hall. Status, alive. Theobald Orselio. Location, upper chambers. Status, alive. Calamira Orselio. Location, upper chambers. Status, deceased. Alexius Orselio. Location, lower levels. Status, deceased. Rasmus Estevan Orselio. Location, unknown. Status, deceased. The child, location, upper chambers, biometric parameters, rapid heartbeat, elevated body temperature, stress level exceeds the permissible limit. Status, unknown error. Attention, calming procedures advised. Attention, upper chambers inaccessible. Error, the control rod is not present. If the rod has been misplaced, immediately contact the station keeper or the Navis Laboratorum custodian. Okay, examine the logs. The archive data stored on the cogitator's local data crypt is partially corrupted, but you still manage to access the residual logs for examination. View Vox Report 12AH890. The Vox recording hisses for some time before you hear a voice. This is Officer A282. Do you copy? Several generators overheated on the lower levels. Chambers A to D are unpowered. The tech priest crew sent to investigate the problem is not responding, requesting back. The officer's speech is interrupted by shouting in the record. And the recording abruptly ends. Officer H123 speaking. 200 servants have perished due to explosive decompression of the living quarters. We've located traces of mechanical interference. The preliminary cause is officer sabotage. Crews 5, 6, and 9 are cut off from the main compartment. We have enough oxygen for 20 minutes. May the Emperor save our souls. Senior station officers, this is the captain speaking. We attempted to contact the Winterscale Scion for help, but something is shamming the signal. We never received a reply and cannot be sure it was even sent in the first place. A rescue team is not coming. We are on our own. So remain vigilant. Anyone can be a traitor. You hear me? Anyone. If you are in doubt, shoot to kill. The following Vox recordings are too badly distorted to make out even a single word. Examine the recent entries of the incident log. Report X880. 880. Originator. Classified. Date. Classified. The servants close to the child have started butchering one another again. An order came from above to have their remains reprocessed. Report X886. Originator classified. Date classified. The negotiations with the Winterscales were a success. A new batch of servants will arrive in 10 moons. Escort them to the laboratory at once. It is imperative that we increase the new retainer's resistance to the child's powers. Report X891. Originator classified. Date classified. Data expunged. Ooh, that's not good. Examine the station's ducking log. The log is almost completely corrupted, but you managed to recover the latest entry. Identity confirmed. Regent Aranto or Celio. Date of visit classified. Reason for visit classified. Date of departure classified. So he's not here any longer. But why was he here in the first place? What? I don't understand. Examine the security and life support logs. Oh, goodness. Oh, this reading is making me tired. There's a book I actually just got, and to be honest, I'm only on page 5, but so far it's pretty good. I'm reading what's it called? The Infinite and the Divine. It's a pretty decent book so far. I've so far only read about how the Eldari are uh, riding on on like dinosaurs and stuff, and it's like, ooh, that's awesome. I like that. Anyways, back to the game. The yellow lights above the control panel flicker to life, and a singular repeating message streams down the vid screen. Warning, damage in technical compartments A12, B3, D8, and H24 detected. Warning, living quarters L10, L16, L28, depressurized. Warning, unable to access the station stocking system. Warning, energy regulation system. Unknown error. The system will transfer over to emergency power. Immediate evacuation of the facility is advised. None of this is good. View the encrypted data. Something buzzing in the cogitator's metallic gut. Several red lumens light up above the vid screen. Required access levels: security captain or above. Current access level: senior security officer. Breakthrough the machine guardian's defenses. Test succeeded. You easily bypass the restrictions imposed on the sacred machine. The cogitator's overloaded processors were unhappily. Fair enough. We gained only 4 experience for that. That's kind of dumb. Okay. Most of the encrypted data has been wiped. You find traces of the purge protocol. Recovery is impossible. But a list of the most recent commands, having been embedded in the machine spirit's consciousness, now flits across the screen in a single creeping line. Child, delete picked flow, disable access code, Anal station controls, delete, activate, shuttle self-destruct, purge command log. Exploring the archives for a while longer yields a surviving excerpt from the guard captain's report mentioning that the security system had recently been reconfigured without his knowledge. His comment reads, only the keepers of the station have access to the life support systems, but Keeper Theobald had not left the child's side, and neither had I. Could it be that... Oh, boy. Call Reichad Minors for help. The system cannot carry out your command despite the eager compliance of the machine spirits. One thing is certain. The problem does not lie in the cogitator's mechanisms. Well, that's not good. Switch to the main chambers rooms. The cogs within the sacred mechanism slowly start turning with heavy grinding and clacking. Let's open the doors. Continue. Ah, Jesus. That door is already open. That door is already open. That is depressurized. Protocol has been executed. The door is open. Already open. Ah. And what about this one? Ah. That's the back button. Okay. Activate the elevator. Cool. Return to the list. Step away from the cogitator. End dialogue. Okay, so now that we've done all that, it's time to go and start up an elevator. Heresy has found its way into the halls of this esteemed house. It is a black day for the...
Victory awaits.
Don't quite understand what's going on here. Yeah, that was weird. It's like nothing really chaos-y happening.
Something of interest.
Ooh. Ooh, what's that? Talisman of Changing Ways. Interesting. Click on goods. Give me the goods. Biogel. Black water. And unidentified acid. Okay. Goods. A psi crystal. Okay. I don't remember what that's used for. Give me the goods. Flesh sample.
None shall stand in my way.
K040H. OH, I should say. OH.
The premonition runs true.
Synthetic amniotic fluid Pools across the floor, barely discernible traces stretch to the opposite uh, stretch to the side opposite the entrance. Okay, interesting. And then the caustic stench of regents sears your nostrils, and broken glass crunches underfoot. Somebody wanted to destroy the laboratory or find something. Interesting, interesting. What could we be looking for, I wonder? Uh-huh, hello, hello. What is this? More and more servants are being influenced by the Immaterium, and it has nothing to do with the child's more frequent tantrums. We've discovered that the corrupted flesh of the mutated reacts most unusually to the crystals we purchased from the Winterscale dynasty. I strongly recommend finely grinding the reagent to catalyze the reaction. Do not use acid under any circumstances. Trust me, you will not like having to tend to the burns for the next dozen turns in a row. This calls for something more basic. Oh, and one more thing. The tech priest blessed the data crypt H410K for the calculated number of chronoturns, which means it is no longer necessary to remain near the device while waiting for the reaction to start. The data crypt H40KO malfunctioned over the course of our research. I should remind the technomats to deliver this sacred mechanism into Magos Dioctus's capable hands. I don't think you'll get the chance, but good on you. Good on you for trying. So let's see. Not that one. Because you can make something fairly nice out of this. Let's see. Okay, so H40. Okay, so we're not using that one. We don't use that one. I think we use the biogel. And I don't remember what flesh sample it is, though. This. What's this? Laboratory journal. Experimental section. The child's influence on the psycho-emotional states of various representatives of the Imperium. Orselios T. Prime. Experiment H4545-1. Subgroup low-born male. Test subjects exhibit signs of acute stress. The majority perished of blood loss within a day of being placed in the laboratory chamber due to the inability to halt the discharge of ocular secretion, tears, and the body's subsequent replacement of these secretions with the connective tissue of its internal environment. The individuals with the greatest resistance to the sacred child's resonance died several chronoturns later. Extensive wounds in the abdomen, presumably inflicted by a jagged piece of metal. Death was caused by strangulation with the subject's own intestines. Disgusting. The subject's final shouts exhibited concerns over abominable tentacles and void worms, hallucinations prescribed to their own internal organs. Interesting. Experiment H4545-2, subgroup low-born female. The test subjects died within an hour of entering the laboratory adjacent to the child's chambers. Most had their tongues bitten off or their jaws badly dislocated. Some test subjects lacked the physical strength to separate it from the rest of the skull. Cause of death: severe head injuries caused by impacting the walls or the floor. So what you're telling me is that you're just trying. I don't fully understand. The Imperium of Man is a terrible place to be, and I think I'd rather be a fucking filthy Xenos in the Warhammer universe. Is what I'm learning from all of this. Let's see. Experiment H4545-3, subgroup paralyzed patient who lost the ability to speak due to the shock caused by manufactorum accident male. A test subject noted a tingling sensation in the deteriorated tissue during Regent Aranto Orselio's visit to the child. The test subject smiled and started humming, most likely trying to carry some plebeian tune. and then attempted to address the servant who brought him food. A lengthy conversation was prohibitive due to the servant's lack of a tongue. Interesting. Let's see. Yeah, okay, cool. Whoops. Give me that, actually. I want it. Whoops. I'm just hitting all the wrong buttons. Don't mind me. Got some goods over here. Adamantine. Then, obviously, we're going to remake the control rod. That's first and foremost. Then, we are going to save the game. Save. Oh, wait. I should not have saved here. Close.
We need to investigate.
So I'm just gonna... I want to try this out because I don't remember exactly what the combination was. But I'm pretty sure it's biogel. Something else and something else. We have the logs, so it should be able to tell us exactly what we need. Let's see here, info. So it's not adamantine dust and black water. The adamantine, born 2 degrees, so... Okay. Then we'll actually save again. Because I want to try this out. Let's see if we can actually get this to work. So, tissue flask, we'll go with the regular flesh sample. Close. Data crypt connector, we want this one. Close. Catalyst flask, we'll go with the biogel. The reagent. Let's go with crystal dust. Activate. Okay. Something in there was not correct. Load. Yes. Well then, that was not what we wanted. We wanted that to be a success, not a failure. And to be honest, the best way to make sure that it's a success, Rogue Trader, I don't even know what to call it. Lab puzzle. Okay. Maybe I can do both of these, actually. That'd be nice. So let's see. The tissue flask, we'll do the mutated flesh sample. Data crypt connector, we will do 41 OK. The biogel. And the crystal dust. Then we will hit activate. Wrong way.
What is that?
Hee, we did it because I looked it up because I'm a little bitch. All right, and then we can do it again because yes. So what's the other one? So flesh sample, just a standard one, with the data crypt K. Nope, other one, K04OH. You found it because yeah, shut the hell up. I know. Catalyst flask, unidentified acid. Then the reagent, I believe, was adamantine. Yes. Adamantine. There we go. And then activate the device. Yes! There you go.
Something of interest.
Okay. Sweet. We did it. We're awesome. What does this even do? Elixir of Warp Neutrality. Grants immunity to warp damage and inflicts a -10 penalty to fellowship, but the user can't deal warp damage until... Oh, well, lame. See, now if that was a thing that I could use on my enemies, well, I'd totally use it, but it's not, so I can't. And I mean, even if it was, that'd still be ridiculously overpowered. Which, again, it would be nice. Okay. Athletics! Jump it.
Nothing matters more.
The whispers taught me how.
Corpses were mauled by a force far beyond any mortal capacity. The faces are twisted in pain, and the hands are fused with improvised weapons. Tools, scissors, and cutlery. Yeah, so
I'll
it makes
lay
sense.
claim to the stars.
Yes. Oh, Mr. Orselio. Pelic Orselio looks a little better. His tangled hair is now neatly braided, his wounds are tightly bandaged, and there is some healthy color under the scales on his cheeks. You dealt with the threat and powered the elevator? Well done. I trust you brought the activation rod as well. Remember, every second of hesitation may cost my mistress her life. Adira suddenly cocks her head and drives her nails deep into her shoulder, then starts mumbling. The crossroads! There are two paths, both stained with blood, both leading to the accursed eye. They all wear masks, so poor and flimsy. They fall at the slightest touch, one hiding a blind man, another a traitor. Tell me more, what paths? I cannot say. One is paved with blind faith, the other with hatred and treachery. Both lead to tragedy. You simply have to decide what kind of tragedy you like the most. Who's who? Who do you see behind the masks? My whispers are giggling nastily. They will not speak, the naughty little things. They say that tearing off the masks is your concern. Thank you, everything is clear now. Adira nods tiredly and glances at Velik out of the corner of her eye. The station has enough problems without your sorcery, psyker. Velik waves Adira off and looks at you expectantly. I have many questions regarding what happened on this station. You think they are worth the life of my mistress? Yes. Who is the child? You meddled with something that should have been left alone. The keeper folds his arms and shakes his head disapprovingly. The child is what the station's servants call Lady Cassia. For the commoners, dirty mouths must not sully her name by uttering it. You see, it is not beneficial for all servants to have their vocal organs altered. What? You see, it is not beneficial for all servants to have their vocal... Oh, vocal organs altered. Some prove to be more useful when they are still able to speak. Man, I thought were convinced that we were traitors. Philip gives an indifferent shrug. That's why they are insane. Will you really heed the ramblings of retainers who dared to raise their hand against the scions of a noble bloodline? Servants alone cannot be blamed for what happened on the station. Most corpses I discovered were either unarmed or feeble. Did you really think mere servants could plan a coup? The senior officers are just as guilty. Half of my guard butchered one another because they suspected treason. As for the real culprit, the coup was staged by those closest to the mistress, destroying the shuttle, shutting off the power, and disabling the security systems. Too many things required special access only available to the keeper of the station. As I'm sure you are aware, there are two keepers of the station. Your guess is absolutely correct. Theobald Orselio, the demented old man obsessed with Lady Cassia and her power, and also the one to blame for the woes that have befallen Urak 5 and our noble line. I listened to a recording of a private conversation between the station's officers. You were very lenient toward them, purposefully neglecting the security protocols.